Hi guys, welcome once again to the Raj Kaul podcast, and thank you so much for joining us today. Today I've got an amazing guest, and I genuinely mean that. This guy, I've been asked after him for ages. Actually, we'll talk about that in a second. I'll let him introduce himself. Actually, I was going to introduce him, but he'll introduce himself. Sharni, over to you.
Hello guys, how you doing? Hope everything's all right. Raj, thank you so much for having me on your show. And it's been a long time, and I apologize. You've been in touch so many times, and I've just been, not that I've been busy not to do this, but I've just been busy with here, studio life, family, all that kind of stuff, Hannah. So apologies there. But big hello to everyone. I'm Sharni from Time Productions, and yeah, I'm with you for a bit.
So let me tell you a bit about Sharni before, because I know he's one of those guys who doesn't talk much about himself, but he's actually a super talented guy. He's worked with some of the biggest guys in the industry. I know he's worked with Kanwar Grewal, and a lot of DCS, Shin. There's so many others that I don't even know what he's going to tell. But I've known Sharni since probably college days, and honestly, he's been.
Yeah.
I never ever, Sharni. I've never ever. We've never ever had a like what? How can I say this? There's never been. There's always been love, isn't it? Nothing else.
You know, genuinely, I openly say we all know Boo Boo as well.
Yeah, Boo Boo as well. Yeah.
And you know, I say it straight to you guys' faces that you know what, the love that you guys show me since day one is just Raj. It's been on another level, mate.
Yeah, honestly, it's always been love with us, man.
You know what I mean? Honestly, it really has, and it's been an honor to know you as well.
Yeah.
Such truthful people, such nice people, always giving me your blessings and stuff, man, all the time, Hannah.
Absolutely, bro.
It's really nice. Thank you, man.
We went to this is for the St. George's Massive. Whoever knows about St. George's, this was in the 90s. It was the DOS House College, wasn't it?
And we was there, but there was a crew of us. Gobsy was with us.
Yeah,
brother Gobsy, you know what I mean? Dawinder Singh.
Yeah, Dawinder Singh. There was a Tolly Digital.
There's quite a few people, man.
Yeah, Tolly Digital. Tolly as well.
Yeah, it was like the daytime era.
Yeah, Tolly Digital, and there was a Jinder Jade.
Yes, yeah.
He was there as well.
He was at college a while as well, yeah.
Yeah, so all these
people.
Yeah, there was
Tony Chana.
Yeah, Tony Chana was there as well.
Yeah.
There's
a few people. Lee Wise as well. Suki Bansal, my brother, he's not here with us today. And big love to that guy as well, man. He's
absolutely,
you know, very much missed, man. Yeah, man. Good times, innit?
Yeah. So this is going to be like I'm thinking whether it's going to be like a sort of a semi-college reunion as well. So going back. So anyway, I'm gonna just start off with Sharni. If you can tell us just a bit about, I know a bit about your background, a bit about where you're from, just a bit about your background story, without going into too much detail.
Yeah, no problem. Well, obviously, you know, born and brought up in Handsworth, B21. You know, always in our house. Grew up on a road called Hamilton Road. Pick up all my Hamilton Road people. It was a lovely atmosphere. It was lovely. Without knowing it was so musical. We lived in a kind of row of houses. I call it a row of love, because everybody on our street had that. It was a different time to grow up in Handsworth and stuff. Next door, our next door neighbor, Uncle G, you know, big inspiration for us. My Uncle G, Baba Bakhtora, Uncle G, who sadly he passed away as well not so long ago. But they were some of the original people. With you know, alongside Anari Sangeet Party and stuff like that, Uncle G, you know, they brought our music over from Punjab with them, and we were that young, we didn't know that at the time. Sade Paji, who again, there's so many people that aren't here with us today that was big influences. Baldev Paji, he used to play Tulki, with known for excellency, but he's known for excellency, but in our house, throughout the families, made the love. You know, and his son nowadays, you know, obviously Lakan, you know, he's one of the best percussionists in the UK, full stop. you know, because of his great father and stuff. But being around these kind of people, there was somebody else that lived up top of the road called Iqbal, who at the time, you know, we used to see people like Sukhshinder Sindar, loads of people used to come to the house, and not knowing who they were then as well. We used to just hear Wajah coming out of the house. We used to be
why did they come?
playing outside.
Were you in a musical family, like in terms of your house?
No, so it wasn't musical, but it was made musical, if you get what I'm saying.
Achha.
You know, my mum loved singing, and my mum still, you know, my mum's voice is beautiful. So my dad always encouraged me, you know, even so my eldest brother, Jasper Singhberry, he's not here with us today as well. But he used to go with Baba Buktora, and you know, they used to have Vajje and stuff. We used to see all musicians always coming to the house.
Wow.
And yeah, so we grew up like that. We used to have so many family parties, and back then family parties weren't in a hall. We used to have family parties at home. So it used to be like people at home, and you know that atmosphere. I used to remember sitting on the, you know, like I'm sitting on a chair now. But Devpad used to be playing Tolki, Baba Bakhtara uncle used to be singing, somebody else used to be singing. I used to be sat on his side, just every time he's hitting the Tolki, I'm just closing my eyes, you know, like a little kid. I was so fascinated about the sound. How's he making this sound out of his hands?
How old were you then?
You know, we were from young, so you know, growing up from the age of like 3 till about like 10, 12, 14, 15, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was always there in the family, and from that, you know, I remember so we were that young, Raj. So you know, at one point my grandfather passed away, obviously in Punjab. So my dad had to go to India, and I was that young. I wasn't thinking that my granddad passed away. I'm just thinking my dad's going India. I want a dhol. I want a dhol. You know what I mean? Anyway, why my dad's going. And now, obviously, you know, later on in life, I understood why he went. But still, he didn't once say no to me.
Wow.
And he went to, you know, he went to his my grandfather's funeral, but he came back with a dhol for me.
Wow.
And I, you know, I only appreciate that. So that was the push that my parents gave me as well.
And only your dad can do that, innit, bro?
Yes.
Only your dad can do that, innit?
No, my dad, at the time, I remember our house was on sale in Handsworth.
Yeah.
And Kudrati, somebody, I still till today don't know their name, Hannah. They came to have a look to buy our house. So they came to buy our house. Cut long story short, they went upstairs and they saw a big door there. And they said to my dad, they said, "Tool, kaun bajaunda?" And my dad goes, "Nikka chota bajaunda." He's like, "Okay." Then he's like, we practice up the road on like Mondays, Tuesdays, at Holyhead School, which is just right at the top of the road. They kenda to my dad, you know, I'll pick the little one up and I'll drop him off and stuff as well. So start going there. My dad came with me as well a couple of times, which is where we met Sukhshinder Sindar. So he was teaching there at the time. He wasn't really teaching, but my dad asked him as well, where Mundina told Sikla and stuff. So it's me and my brother Serge.
I know
Serge. And so yeah. And the whole world knows Serge.
Yeah.
And so we started going there to learn. At the time, Tiranga Bhangra team was there.
Yeah.
So already when I went into that, I remember going into Holyhead School into the practice hall where everybody was. And the rehearsal was going on. I then saw a young, his name's Phil. Yeah. He looked like an English lad to me because of the skin tone color. He was only same age as me, but he was actually playing dhol for the Bhangra team at that age. You know what I mean? And I'm like, wow. On top of that, Uncle Ji, Jinder Uncle Ji, who everyone knows in the industry. Big up my brother Banga, Sadi Jodi as well. Their son, Sonny, he was actually singing. He's my age as well. He was actually singing for the Bhangra team.
Is this Sonny? Did he go Holyhead? Holyhead.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did for a little while as well.
So he was a really good friend of mine, you know, because his dad was good friends with my dad.
Carried on singing now. We had a band back in the day at that age. I was involved in a band as well called the Mega Punjab Boys. I have to big up the lads because that's where Sonny came in, and Sonny was the singer. But we were getting guidance of people like Pajangi and Kulhuni and stuff as well,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
and we were an actual band. We got the chance to record like live bands did. You don't get that chance now.
That's
You know what I mean?
crazy, bro.
And we was all young. We was at that age. This guy had Ladywood Art Centre. Yeah, it was rammed. There was a handful of Asian people. The rest were all Jamaican people.
Yeah.
And at the time, they knew that we were Bhangra band, so everybody was excited. Everyone there was love, a lot of love in the area, and they knew the song "To Love It All." We hadn't rehearsed that song. That guy and us as a band, yeah, we was only like, we was none of us were even like 16 years old. We had the whole place singing "To Love It All."
Was it Sunny?
It was
Sunny.
crazy.
Was Sunny in the band?
Sonny was singing. Sonny was singing. But I still say, I always ask about him. My bro Danny, and Danny tells me that he's all good and stuff. But if he was still singing now, he'd be dangerous, man.
Because, bro, let me tell you a story. So I knew him when I was in probably primary school. As I said, his dad was friends with my dad, and when we used to go to weddings, he was singing as part of the group.
So you know what I mean? No,
and he was like Kuldeep Manik. He was singing like Kuldeep Manik at that age.
And handling it, you know what I mean? Handling it, not like thinking it. He's handling it, mate. And from there, we learned Dhol from Sukhshinder Sindhabaji for a little while. But again, because I already knew that Guchan Malanko, big up my Dhol Blasters family as well. Sorry for bigging everyone up. I have to do it, man.
You have to, bro. You have to, man.
Big up my Dhol Blasters family, Guchan Malanko, enough love. I always, even though we were going to Sukhshinder Sindhabaji, I wanted to learn off Guchan Malanko. You know what I mean? No matter who I was learning, I wasn't happy. I wanted to learn off Guchan Malanko. I knew he was my dad's friend, my dad's good friend. So again, and because of Uncle Baba Bakhtaura ji as well, Dad took me down to Uncle Ji as well a couple of times. First time I ever met Uncle Ji told me that, listen, I will teach you. But je menu pata laga ve tu padhai de vich tu kuch sahi nahi karda, that comes first. Respect deni sareyan nu. If I find out that you're not doing that, I'm not going to teach you.
He's a pillar of the community, isn't he? Even today.
Yes, mate. Yes, 100%. And just being around that, that presence of him, it was a next level. I used to go to learn from when Uncle G used to live in Handsworth as well. Just at the top of the road. And I used to remember carrying my dhol. I used to carry my dhol all the way up Holyhead Road, pass up on our videos, everything to Uncle G's house. And I did that. The dhol was bigger than me. Used to put a black bag around it and stuff. It was massive. Used to carry it up there. Used to have my lesson. Used to get to the house. I remember sitting with Uncle G's dad, Hana, and his dad used to already have badam, pyo ke rakhe hunde sige in a glass, ready for me. That's the love, you know what I mean?
You don't get that these days, innit?
Uncle was that busy. Uncle might come home 10, 15 minutes during our lesson had started. I'd probably have had a roti already with Babaji, you know what I mean? And then again, Uncle G's nephew taught me, a lot as well, Billu from Natsas Ansar. And he's not with us as well today, sadly. But learned a lot of him as well. But Gujan Malanko was that's who I wanted to learn off, and that's who we learned off. And I'm proud of that, man.
So can I just get into the technical? So obviously this podcast, as you know, it's more about I love the stories you're telling, but we also want to get into the technical part of it. How did was it a one-to-one lesson you had with him, or was it one of the group lessons?
Yeah. No, it used to be one-to-one lessons. So at that time, Uncle G was they just finished recording like Dhol Blasters. The original Dhol Blaster. I remember Uncle G secretly making a little T-shirt for me, my size, Hana. Minu ditti told me not to tell anybody, give me likito and stuff, Hana. And I wish I still had that. But yeah, so it used to be one-to-one lessons. This was before Uncle G Huni opened MB Studios on Rookery Road as well. And it was just before that time. So I used to have one-to-one lessons at his house. Jo the studio khulli sigi. Then I used to go down to the studio and have lessons at the studio as well, which was the first kind of time I walked into a studio as well.
What was his
you see a young? Suki Chand,
Suki
and
Chan.
he must have been early like teens and stuff, man.
Yeah,
But I
with his
remember
butcher.
seeing all that. Yeah, man. But still, you know, his inspiration. I didn't know that at that time.
Yeah,
That one day I'm gonna be sitting in the studio as well, innit?
yeah, it's
You know what I
crazy.
mean?
Yeah, Suki's the OG.
Yeah, man.
I've tried to get him on the
Yeah,
podcast a few times, but he says,
yeah. But it was lovely learning off Uncle. Learn off Uncle to a point where Uncle said that, listen, I'm kind of like done with you now. I need to put you somewhere else. So he sent me to Natstaz and Sard.
hmm
He just practiced at Mix Ain't Clear Studios. And that was another level thing as well because I used to go there as a kid. Used to see all the bands there. Like growing up in Handsworth anyway, you used to see the bands. You know, that was another musical inspiration.
yeah,
Is seeing the people that we see performing on stages at weddings, like DCS, you know, Havana, you know, CIC, the
yeah,
whole lot, Malkeet Singh's band, the whole lot, everything, Excellency. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You can name all of them, man. And I used to see them like walking on Soho Road, on Brook Road. You could walk past Soho Road, Badials. I remember, you know, always. I remember running up to Malkeet Singh in Badials because I seen him sitting there like this, and he's booking a ticket for himself to India or something.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I'm there more concerned about getting an autograph. You know what I mean? But yeah, seeing these guys, you know, you used to catch the bus and there used to be a band member on the bus, and I used
yeah,
to think that, yo, I just seen him performing at the night in or at the Farcraft on the weekend and stuff and it was, for me, it was like, wow, I used to be scared to talk to them. I never used to talk to them.
yeah.
Used to give them a little nod now and again. Used to be scared because it's so little, you know. But yeah, from there, their uncle put me into Notch and Sard for a little while, and big respect to them guys as well. Um, you know, things happened in Notch and Sard. Like I said, I was a kid. I was probably about 8, 9 years old. Um, no, it was a little bit older than that, about 10, 12 years old. But yeah, I got to a point where I'm starting doing shows with them as well, thanks to Guitar and Uncle. But then that came to a stop. There was a little problem with somebody. I won't go into that.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's
But
not the place.
it was wrong. It was wrong, Hannah. And to dishearten somebody at that age is a bit rough. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Um, yeah, but I won't go into the ins and outs because it could cause a lot of stuff,
yeah,
and I don't want to look like the bad one, if you
yeah.
understand. But bear in mind, I was a kid, and I got asked not to come back to rehearsals on somebody say so. And being
hmm
a kid, you know
It
what? Come
kill your
on, man.
confidence.
Yeah, killed my confidence, man. Yo, I can show you toolkey and that I've still look. I'm 44 now, mate. I've still got toolkey with Natsas and Sard written on the wood on the sides. That's how much I was
Wow.
into it, man. You know what I mean? That was what I wanted to do. But I did, you know, at the same time, you know, I remember speaking to Guchan uncle and like a G, the only two things he said to me, he said, "Tu kuch kiya tha nahi?" And I said, "No, uncle ji." And he said, "Tu gaal tha nahi gaddi?" And I said, "No, uncle ji." And that was it. He said, "Leave it." And then so left it. But I was, you know, being in Hansa from always be around music.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's when you know, from there, start linking up with other people. My brother Victor, you know, from there, I met, you know, Mick St. Clair. You
Yeah.
know, I started gigging with Mick St. Clair and stuff. And from there, you know, from Mick St. Clair, I moved over to, because we moved from Handsworth then.
Mm,
I was still in secondary school. And now I'm thinking, yo, I moved out of Handsworth, but, you know, I haven't got no musical links. Well, I'm only at that age. I'm still in secondary school.
hmm
Then I met you know, my brother Manj, Coca Crazy. And, you
Go
know, I'm sure
crazy.
at that time the whole of Birmingham knows Coca Crazy. You know, we together, us guys, we created a crew, you know what I'm saying? Of everything. There was a mixture in our crew, man. It's like a gang. But it was lovely time, a lot of
Yeah.
good memories and stuff. And yeah, man. So start gigging with that, and got busy with Coca Crazy. You know what I mean? Oh,
Mhm.
little flip there. But yeah, that was that, man. And just carried on, just gigging. Started getting into production, seeing artists out there. You know, people like Sukhshinder Sindar now producing music, and you know, Aman Hair, loads of people, Punjabi MC, listening to the mix side of things as well.
Mhm.
Because don't forget that at this point, like when we was gigging with Coca Crazy, got to a point where it was for bands and DJs. There was a little bit of friction as well
Mm.
because the bands were thinking that, yo, these guys are taking our work. You know what I mean? Because DJs were coming in, because bands were massive. People, if you're going to a wedding, something, there's gonna be a band in it.
Why do you think
Then they
that
started
was?
doing bands and DJs and stuff.
Why
It's
do you
just
think that
because
was?
of work, innit? It was
No,
because of work and stuff as well.
no, not necessarily the
But
friction. Why do you think? Why do you think the change? Why did the audience flip from the bands to the thing? Or I ask everyone this question, but it's just quite interesting. Like, what's your? Because you were deep in it.
because because music changes, in it, and our bands, tech, tech DCS and stuff, for example, our band started using synthesizers
Yeah, yeah,
and bass and all that kind of stuff, where before it was just a vajja and maybe a keyboard that weren't playing no bass. There was no
yeah.
bass in there. The bass would come
No,
from the percussion.
yeah,
Ja tabla, ढोलकी, ढोल होवे, even ढोलीs were rare for bands,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. That's true.
Started coming in, but it's because people started wanting that mixture of music, because the youth is growing up as well.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And people are listening to songs out there, and people started saying that, why am I gonna pay one band to listen to their music when I could pay a DJ and listen to like 4 or 5 bands
Yeah.
music? You know what I mean? So it's a bit of like catch 20. It's like if you don't do it, but we were into that. The bands were making the music for us DJs to spin,
Hmm.
you know, and people like Manju still keeping the vinyl scene alive. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
CDJs and all that kind of stuff was just coming in as well. So people learning how to mix. The real mixing. I still say, like, fair play to everyone. Everyone's, there's some sick DJs out there, but for me, turntable mixing, that's what I like.
That's the real
Grew
deal,
up with
isn't
that,
it?
man. Yeah, for me it is, because a DJ with 2 records can make a track out of them records if he mixes it properly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And going to events and looking at the skill. I'm not a DJ myself, but I love the art of DJing.
Mm.
I could, when I see a good DJ, there's a lot. Like I say, there's millions of good DJs out there, but for me, the scratch DJs are the ones, man.
Because you need to have a
And
sense of rhythm as well, don't you? Rhythm and tal as well, because
Mhm.
you're, especially when you're
Yes,
mixing and
mate.
the key and pitch and all
Yeah, yeah,
sorts.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
A hip hop DJ can, any DJ, like if they're scratching, they can make beats out of that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
And it all comes out to practice, and practice makes perfect. With
Hmm.
like anything in it, you know what I mean? So you put that like that.
Yeah. So let me take you back a bit because
Yeah.
I told you were the guy for this podcast, Sharni. I know you were reluctant, but it's been amazing. Like
All right.
we've already
Sorry,
blasted.
man. I'm chatting in it.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. This is the whole point. You're doing my job for me. I don't even have to ask questions. It's brilliant. But
Nah, respect, man.
I just want to get back to just when you were with John Mal Uncle G.
Yeah.
What was he teaching you? What was the technique? Were you learning in the house because loud noise, or did he have a soundproof room, or what was he
No, it's
teaching you?
just
How
like
did
the
you
fact
learn?
that, because at that point, like Uncle G had just started Door Blasters, the album, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So Door Blasters, as we see it today, wasn't there.
yeah,
There was no Door Blasters. Uncle created Door Blasters,
yeah, yeah. We
obviously
know that.
when they
Yeah,
created the album, so ta karke, because Uncle didn't have as many students as from what I know, from if I remember right, Uncle G, Raj Tully, we got Raj as well, who his father plays for Malkeet Singh.
yeah.
वो भी check this थोड़ा जा उत्थे, Billu and myself, from what Uncle G told me, and there was another guy called Harminder who went on to play with Nats Sar as well. Um, they, yeah, so I didn't really, see any of the other lads until later on, if you
Mm-hmm.
get what I mean, because Uncle wasn't teaching like that. Uncle, like, because Dad wanted and Uncle agreed to it. That's why I was able to learn
Gotcha.
from at
Yeah.
that point.
So you were like
You know?
it was a favor
So,
for you.
yeah, yeah. So, but Uncle, Uncle used to give me homework and stuff as well, man. He used to go there, and I'd have to, I'd take a paper home, with beats written down on there. We'd go through the ball of the beats of the cycles of Jal, Luddi, Tamal, all these things, even come down to the name, what the name is, what the play me the beat, say the beat to me. Idan diyan cheeਜ਼ਾਂ. So I couldn't get everything all, perfect all the time, but that's learning, that's learning.
Mm.
So but yeah, from there, like like I said, I loved it and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it
Mm.
so much, man.
That's actually fascinating because, like, sometimes you get um. This is the other side of like you've learnt the proper way, haven't you? Not like and it's just not. I'm not saying this in a disrespectful way because you can learn anyway, but you've learnt the actual
Mm.
formal way, the way things were taught in
Yes,
India and stuff,
Tool,
innit?
yes,
Hannah, you've learnt
yeah,
all
yeah,
the
Tool,
formal
yes,
way.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, formal. There's formal and there's formal as well.
yeah,
I remember getting slapped once or twice from Sukshinder Shinda. You know what I mean? Not
yeah,
hard, but just to like,
yeah. Well,
because it's expected if they're gonna take out their time.
yeah,
At that point, Sukshinder Shinda used to like teach us. So he'd be playing tool in front of us like this, in front of me and my brother, and he'd also be singing.
wow,
So I feel bad saying this, but at the time, me and my brother used to look at each other and be like, we used to laugh. He used to be like, yo, we come to learn Dole. We haven't come to hear him sing. But look at him now.
yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's a bit of a slap in our face there. That is.
Yeah,
So yeah, and that guy is like such a big inspiration. You know what I mean? Openly
legend.
say, yeah, man, 100%. That's one of the reasons why I started production
Yeah.
is looking at him and listening to his songs, and I'm thinking, yo, you know what I mean?
Because that's quite
Another
fast.
level.
It's quite fascinating the way you learn. As I was saying, because like you hear people talk and they just learn the movements, but you can see because I've heard you, I've been in the studio with you. You can see the knowledge you've
Everybody,
got.
huh? But again, Raj, you don't have to, if I see Paji Huni now, I'll go quiet. I want him to speak.
Yeah,
है ना? उन्हें देख के कुछ सीखो है ना?
yeah,
Whether it doesn't mean like musically, you don't have to always learn musically of somebody. How to sit with people, how to speak with people, the
mm.
respect that you give musically, है ना? You know, all these things come hand in hand. I learned
It,
a lot of these things through music.
yeah,
I learned our language. Like I'm not only from home and stuff, but look, I got my own friend circle in India. In different parts of India, there's people that I know that are like become like family through. Why is
mm.
that? Through music.
Yeah,
Same time, apni boli. How much do we learn? Um, you know, I could pick up instruments and hold them the right way. I've been to India and people our age don't even know how to hold an instrument the proper
yeah,
way, let alone play it. Hana?
hmm,
These things like we don't realize the sometimes the hallasheri that we get from other
yeah,
people to say that ਤੁਸੀਂ England ਦੇ ਜੰਮੇ ਪਲੇ ਆ and ਤੁਸੀਂ ਫੇਰ ਵੀ ਹਨਾ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਸੰਭਾਲ ਕੇ ਰੱਖੀਆਂ like that's why we're very lucky to learn anybody learning any instrument is very lucky to learn an
yeah,
instrument always man just from the smallest you can learn a triangle but you learn so much from that
yeah, absolutely, yeah,
you know
yeah,
and like I say, it gives us the encouragement to pick up other instruments and learn. I play a few instruments as well myself, but I'm master of none.
hmm,
Always learning. Course,
mm.
you know what I mean? Yeah, man. And yeah. So, but I look at people that are around me as well. Musicians that are around me. I might not say it to somebody, but I think what I think of them is like, yo, you're next level. But again, sometimes it's not always about speaking about it. You look at someone, you can learn off a minute.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean?
And
I
I've
learned a lot of my brother.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
go
say, and
on.
I've seen that in your studio, bro. Like, you've honestly,
No,
you've
thank
got a
you.
grasp of so many instruments. What I've seen, and
No, thank you.
there's not many. Believe it or not, not many people like it's probably a handful of people I know
Mm.
who are multi-talented. Like who can do more than one instrument.
Yeah, man. But
Yeah,
people know who people are as well. And maybe you don't meet each other all the time and
yeah,
stuff like that. And you look, like I said, my brother Banga, Dab, Moneyspinner guys, Chaos Productions, Tru-Skool, honey. Look at the talent
unbelievable.
there,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Lucky all the time, but it's you learn from each other. We could be the same age, younger
Mm.
than. I learn of people. I was I learned Chinese instrument from a
Acha,
little girl, probably about 5, 6 years old. She's been taught by her grandmother, but the instrument was similar to banjo that we play.
acha, acha, acha.
So she taught me a little. You see what I mean? She's a 6-year-old girl, and she taught me how to play an instrument. You
Wow.
can learn off anybody.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I got a story about.
But yeah,
I had a story about Tru-Skool. Like, as talented as he is, sometimes that guy gets a bit of a bad rep in the studio, but he's actually such a nice guy. Like
yo,
my
yeah.
My wife talked to him, or she had some projects on, and he's a guy. Look how big Tru-Skool is. He gave her the time of day, respected, chatted to her. Who does that?
Mm.
Who does that, bro? Especially someone like Tru-Skool. He's on another planet of
Yeah,
musicians.
yeah.
And it,
Yeah, the way somebody meets you and greets you,
yeah,
that's how you keep it with them as well.
exactly,
And
bro.
me personally, my interaction with him as well, wicked guy, man. Really, really nice. First time I met him, we went to a prison in Wales to do a workshop for some of the prisoners. There was Vasaki time.
Yeah.
So just to showcase a few instruments and stuff as well, Hannah. They were Timilisige and top guy, man, really, really nice. Invited me down to Derby. Never get a chance, but hopefully one day be able
Mm,
to go down and sit down and have a little chinwag because it'll be genuine, Hannah. It'll be
absolutely, yeah.
genuine. Yeah, it's not like, want something. It's just nice to be around musical people like that as well, man.
Absolutely. And
And again, you might learn something, Hannah.
he's
Definitely. But
he's hardcore, isn't he? In music.
it's not about hardcore. You know what it is? It's good. I like it, especially like musically as well. I'm still like, you know, I give in too easily. If
Mm,
somebody comes to the studio, yeah, we have people come and you know, thank you to everyone that comes down as well.
mhm.
But again, sometimes I get frustrated because I'm thinking to myself that like people come to a studio and they're trying like people don't come prepared anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what
Got
I
you.
mean? People don't come prepared, like and trying stuff and trying to do things in a studio and expecting it to be a final product when you haven't practiced or anything like that.
Mm,
So practice makes perfect, huh? But you have
mm,
the, yeah, you have to have that shanti about you as well. But again, studio wise, like if you're doing it like I'm doing it, like I do it for the love, and again, where I'm sitting, it's not free. You know what I
no,
mean?
no.
So in that sense, like I have to make a little bit of money,
Of course,
you
makes
know.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. But it's so I have people like come in and out, and I like helping people. It's
Mm,
part of the reason why people come to me. People always say to me that, Sean, when we come down to your place, we feel like ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਘਰੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ,
mm,
and I have a lot of different types of uh, genre people that come in here as well. You know what I mean? Singers, musicians, some people come to do voiceovers and stuff like that.
mm.
Um, you know, uh, yeah, man, it's, but when someone comes prepared, it matters. And,
Galbandi फिर नहीं.
Galbandia, Galbandia. People like Billah Bakshi Baji,
Yeah,
he will come and he'll come prepared. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He'll come and take his takes, and that the man's come prepared
yeah,
because you're only having to take two, three takes.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Sometimes you might just lick it off in the one. There's very few people that can do that as well.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Few people that are at that level, yeah, and it's nice to be able to work with people at that level that they trust you to handle their vocals and they feel
Mm,
comfortable with you. Not only him, there's loads of people, That's just one example.
mm,
But when people do come prepared, it matters, and it makes the job better, innit?
mm.
You know what I mean? So it's not about strictness. It's about if you're gonna do it, you don't want like I don't want people to leave here with crap stuff because then the first thing they're gonna blame is, oh, where did you record that? And they'll be like,
Yeah,
oh, with Sharni. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So it leaves a mark on you there as well, innit?
How did you get into the production side from dhol? So that's where we left the story earlier. Before I
Yeah, yeah.
introduced.
So the production side, I remember actually at one point where it hit me. We were at a place called the Venue in Dudley,
Hmm.
and we were doing it was a big show there. They had a lot of artists, KS Mucken, Shin DCS, there were loads of artists, like a big gig it was. And from that point, man, when I seen like I actually saw Aman Hair there, like for the one of the very first few times, and I was performing with KS Mucken, a few other artists. I think Angrez Alipadi was there as well, and and I was thinking, what, like he's a little bit older than me, I think. But I was thinking, I'm kind of like doing what he did, like learning a few percussion and stuff. But he must have learned on that next level because that guy is next level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you like that, this guy's gone and played his own instruments on these songs, And now he's on stage with the guy that sang the song, and they're killing it.
Yeah.
It was a big like wow for me, you know what I mean? And actually getting to meet these guys as well I'm like, wow, man. And it gave me the push. It gave me the push. But I had it in me before anyway as well because of like obviously being around Coca Crazy. We'd be in and out. I'd see studios here and there. Manj had a studio on the famous Ivor Road. Yeah, so doing a lot of recordings then. I was recording dhol on English songs like Tupac and stuff like that. A few
Nice.
mixtapes are going on, dhol mixtapes. But I was doing that just to get my own self into a studio. The few people that I did know with studios back then as well. And people always say, I won't go into names and stuff like that, but people always say that, oh, if you need anything, come see me, I'll help you with this, that. But I never got that help.
Mm.
So because I don't want to, and I've always been like that, I don't want to keep on asking people for help.
Yeah.
And somebody doesn't want to help you, I ain't gonna beg them. You know what I mean? So I
Mm.
had to find kind of like think of how to do it my own self. So at one point, me and my brother Rajan, um, we went to do a music course at Matthew Bolton College.
Hmm.
Whereas, I say it now. We did. I did a course with Pato Banton first. Before
Really?
that, yeah, a short. It was a short course. It was called Musical Connections,
Acha, acha.
but it was just kind of like. But yeah, I was just lucky enough to do that with Pato Banton. You know what I
Wow,
mean?
man.
And
Massive.
got a certificate out of it with his name on there and stuff like. You know what I mean? And from there, met my teacher Ray Evans, who like kind of like guided us. He's I got the chance to sit down and do a course with him to first time sit down and be in a room where there's a computer in front of you and there's a keyboard in front of you and stuff like
Mm.
that, where you can make beats and play rhythms and stuff like that. So I used to remember being in the class. So everybody in the class was doing like hip hop, drum and bass, grime, and I'm there recreating मेरा याद बजावे ढोल. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I remember Rajan sitting next to me, yeah, looking at me like this, and like be like, "Yo, put your volume down on your headphones, man." You know what I mean?
Which Raj is this?
And I'm thinking that,
Which Raj is this from college or?
no, my brother man, Rajan Hallen. So
Acha, acha.
we were the duo for Tool for
Okay,
Coca Crazy
nice.
original, yeah. And so Rajan's doing well in his business now and stuff as well. So
Mm.
Rajan's a big part of Time Productions as well when we started Time Productions. And but then at a point, Rajan wanted to carry on with his business.
Yeah, makes
So,
sense. Yeah.
like a brother, like me, like I said to him then, I said, carry on with your business, but don't not do it. Don't leave this for
Yeah,
that and not smash it in that. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And my brother, like I said, he smashed it and he's keeping on smashing it. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. But I forgot what I was talking about
Yeah,
now.
so back to when you were at college. Yeah, you were at college and he heard you recreating Mera Yaar Bajawe Tol.
Yeah, yeah. So I was in the classroom, like kind of like recreating that because I'm trying to find a Vajja sound on there because it's the first time that I'm actually being able to record something and listen back to it and maybe try and edit it if I can. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Then once I got the gist of that, then I wanted to add more instruments, but I didn't have the live instruments there. So I'm trying to find Indian sounding instruments on the English packages, sound packages like timbales and
Yeah,
stuff like that for
yeah, yeah.
Tool, all that kind of stuff and that. You know what I mean? The king of doing that is from school, like that as well. I went to Hampstead Hall School. So my brother Amit from Cloud9. So at the time, I learned a lot of Amit as well. That guy recreated. There was an album called Partiyan by Pardesi. Amit's father, Bhutta uncle, is the obviously one of the lead singers for Pardesi, and one of the biggest bands out there, man. Big up Pardesi, yeah.
100%.
And yeah, and Amit single-handedly recreated that in front of my face. I'm like, wow, off the instruments, of what he had there, man. I wish I could still hear that stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was the first kind of like chance I had to sit down and do some music and take something back with me that I can listen to that I made. I made that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So it's a big push as well, man. So holy, and like I said, from there, like nobody was giving time of day. Yeah. So I actually went out there and I sourced my own people. and I went and I spent money with them as well. You know what I mean? People cry nowadays. The first big thing people ask when they call you, the second or third thing after say hello, Paji ki hala, is Paji the price the seal.
Mm.
And look at the product what you're getting, man. I never used to ask somebody that. I used to ask them that at the end of the session
Mm.
because you can't put a money price unless you're on some, you know what I mean. But you can't put a price on what you just learned on it. I was
Mm.
booking people, big up my brother Major as well, man. Major from Hockley, he's passed away as well, but learnt a lot of that guy as well.
Is that
There's a
Major
lot of
from?
people.
Is that in the studio? Major was
Yes, yeah, in
yeah.
studio. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah, yeah,
But we used to meet up sometime. Remember remember we had
yeah.
with
So Sir
Sir
Punch,
Punch,
yeah,
Sir
MC Sir
Punch.
Punch, big up Sir
Yeah,
Punch
yeah,
as
yeah.
well. Yeah,
100%,
well,
bro.
Hannah.
I
And
forgot those days.
that guy as well, man. You know what? Learning for me, recording wise, that guy, for somebody our age and for what he was doing and his knowledge and his way of recording and his
Yeah,
fastness of recording, taking his takes and stuff. I learned a lot of
yeah.
Sir Punch without even knowing it. I
He's
learned how to
wicked
record.
guy.
I learned
Wicked
how
guy.
to record fast, and my levels are good, and loads of stuff. But the person that the one person that I owe a lot to, that did give me time of day, and I trust with anything, every time, never wanted anything off me, never held anything back from me, and always encouraged me, which is the biggest thing, is my big brother Nin Matharu. I
100%.
learned a
Legend.
lot from Nin. And yes, man, yes, 100%, man. Nin's so humble. Even that side of things I've learned from him. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Other people, my brother's money spinner. Oh,
Yep.
I can't begin to tell you how much those guys mean to me. And musically, the knowledge, the the talent that's there. Not all the time you have to be a musician. Like they say, the pen is mightier as well sometimes.
Yep.
That's a big thing as well. Knowledge, how to speak to people.
Mm.
There's so many people that I can mention. People are, musician wise, Devraj, Jasang Uncle,
Legend again.
Jandu Litter. Yeah, when these people go, mate, that's a whole world that we're losing
Mm.
lyrically as well. Like, lyrically, we're losing all that knowledge, man. And to sit down to even talk to these people is a big thing, you know what I mean?
Mm. I
But
know.
they may have left, lyrics and stuff behind because they're not physically here now. But people don't know if people wouldn't know what to do with them lyrics.
No.
You know what I mean? The tarjan that they made on and stuff like that. That's all in there.
Yeah.
That can't be put down. They might have a little note, say Artarja or something like that. Hannah. But when it comes to song choice and stuff like that, that's why a lot of UK Bhangra and UK lyrics and stuff has changed. If you notice,
Mm. They were the
it's
backbone of it,
become
weren't
a
they?
lot more kutti, like you
Yeah.
know what I mean.
Yeah.
Um, don't know whether it's a craze when a lot of English words are mixed in there now and stuff as well. But before it was very cut. The cut hunda siga, na?
That's come from India more than here, isn't it? India and Canada, it's come
A bit
from
of
there.
both.
Yeah.
A bit of both because people are on there and stuff as well. Hannah. We
Yeah.
can't blame them. Not all the stuff is bad.
No.
Not all the stuff is bad. Some of the stuff is good.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of bad as well at the same time,
Yeah.
Hannah.
Well, sorry to interject. I always think, right, we in the UK take took a snapshot of 80s, 70s, 80s Punjabi from Punjab, and we kept it here. We preserved it, whereas the one in India has moved on. Did that Sini bol de
mm,
hona? We've kept that snapshot of 70s, 80s, and we pride ourselves in trying to preserve that language how it was.
yeah, yeah,
Whereas the
yeah.
one in India, it just is evolved where
Yeah,
swag.
we've got our own. Sometimes when I go to India and I look at us, we
Yeah.
speak Punjabi, Hannah,
Yeah.
to us, but sometimes when I go to India, I get dazzled still. I'm like, what did the guy just say? You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
But ठीक होंगे, ठीक है. You know what I mean? और भी
Yeah.
आ सकती है.
I mean, I'll tell you a
But
story. I was in India. I was in India, and I mentioned a few artists like they didn't know who they were, like Chamkilla, Muhammad Rafi. The kids didn't know who they were,
mm,
and I'm thinking,
you know,
man, things have changed.
yeah, Yeah, they don't sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
I remember being in the studio. Yeah, so I'm in the studio for about 8, 9 hours. Yeah, there was a uh, somebody there was recording, Hannah. I won't say who it was anyway, but I sat there and there was a musician there. And after about 8, 9 hours, he's sitting there smiling at me, and he's like, "Paji, tusi jassi se doing?" I'm like, "What?" But people are people know of certain people. Sahotas are massive in India.
God,
There
I
ain't a
know they
person
will.
in
Yeah.
India still now that don't know about
Yeah.
Sahotas. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's a it's one of them ones. Oh, you know, you have to learn even musically. You know, when you go to India and stuff as well, there's a lot of things that we pick up musically, with
Hmm.
the you know what rag is and stuff as well,
Yeah.
Hannah.
Yeah.
Because all these things matter. You know, when you sit down with somebody or you sit in a room with people and you don't know, they just take lead then. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
They automatically think that, you know what, ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਤੋਂ ਆਇਆ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕੰਮ ਹੀ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਰਕੇ ਦਿਓ.
Hmm.
And, you know, dash him to the side, innit? But if you actually go there prepared and know what you're on about and come away with what you need to get, you know, it's a bonus. And like you say, music changes all the time. You know, I've done tracks over here for people where people have specifically said, I'll give you an example. So there was some albums straight out of Khalistan.
Hmm.
So, you know, I was lucky enough to have a chance to work with the guys, with the team there. You know, big up Uncle Jago Wale. You know, Uncle, he showed me so much love. It was an honor recording with them.
Hmm.
So, you know, even before I'd met Jago Wale, Uncle Huni, you know, massive fan because my dad was a fan. So therefore, I became a fan of
Wow.
them. My dad was a big fan of Tadi Kavishri as well, Hannah. So, and I didn't know at that time when I was little, only till later on in my life. But you know, that's my dad loves that, and I was lucky enough to record that album with them as well.
Wow.
My dad wasn't, yeah, yeah, 100%. You know, my dad, sadly, he passed away before I had the chance to release that album. Um, but even before that, I did, you know, my body, the same thing, Moramali. So, and Sukha Singh Moramali, who is one of the main reasons why I'm even sitting in this here where I am today, doing my
Wow.
music. You know, these guys at the worst times in my life, these guys have been there for me. You know,
Hmm.
and not everybody does good in life. Not everybody, you know, and you know, not everyone's a bad person, but in my bad times in my life, these guys have been there for me, and I've
Hmm.
got nothing but respect. They're my brothers, you know what I mean? I see them as my brothers, and I was lucky enough to record some tracks with them guys as well. But again, lucky enough to go to India to record with them as
Really?
well.
Wow.
So, yeah, 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 yeah. So I've done a lot of recording in India, with a lot of different artists as well, Hannah. Where you know, because I'm not that good on social media and stuff, you know, I get kicked up my backside sometimes as well to say that Sean Korea got a hana. But
Who's-
because it's me by myself, if I start putting everything on, I'm not going to do the work, hannah.
Yeah.
So sometimes I don't catch things. I
Yeah.
don't catch things. You know, I was sometimes, you know, by somebody I remember saying like, "Why don't you take photos and stuff like that?" I'm like, you know, because I ain't get the time, not in a disrespectful way, I ain't get the time because if I start taking time photographs,
Yeah.
who's going to do the work, hannah? Rather
Yeah.
do
True.
some good work and then take the photos afterwards. The going milda, job people milda, that means more than a photograph to me, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I've missed a lot of things where you know, I can show people and stuff as well, but I
Hmm.
don't regret it for a second. I don't regret it because it's all in my mind, you know?
Well, do you know what
You
I'm
know what
gonna
I
do
mean?
with this podcast? I wanna blast you on socials, everything.
Yeah.
लोगों को पता
No,
होना
no,
चाहिए था.
wicked, man. You know what? This kind of thing, you know, again, you know, a lot of the guys, you know, again with Tool and stuff, you know, big up my brother's percussionists, you know, big up drum culture, Uppy, Tool Blasters, you know, the whole lot. There's so much TJ Stevens, the
Yeah.
list is endless, man. List is endless. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
all these guys are big inspirations to me, man. Some of them are my bigger brothers, some of them my little brothers, but everybody's on the same case. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And yeah, man. Yeah,
So
there's a lot of people to mention, man. But we don't have time.
it's been 40 minutes, bro. and it's just gone like that.
That's it. Wow, man. Wow. And we had a little time limit as well, Hannah.
Yeah, no, कोई नहीं,
But yeah, man. Yeah.
कर दी गल, yeah. Anyway, so okay, so you dropped it again. So
Yeah, that was it again.
I want to talk about, because you've worked with Kanwar Grewal as well, haven't you?
Yeah, that was through happened through my brother's Moneyspinner, Sanjeev Bopurabaji as well, Hannah. You know, because obviously if the studio wasn't there, obviously it would have probably been recorded somewhere else and stuff as well, Hannah. But I was lucky enough to spend a little bit of time with the lads because of Moneyspinner lads in the studio when we were actually recording Kanwar Grewal, and what a nice guy, man! What a nice guy. You know, he was genuinely, he was a top guy. Cracked jokes in there as well. Even humbly asked. We'd recorded what we wanted to record, and I remember the guy humbly asking, "Jida ek aur kar liye?" Like he's asking us. You know what I mean? I'm kind of like looking at the lads, thinking like, "Did he just say that?"
Wow.
But obviously, he was having a good time as well, huh?
Yeah.
You know, when Dings is around, yeah, everyone has a good time. You know what I mean? But yeah, he loved it, man. And he was a top guy, really nice person. And you know, Babaji wished them all the best, man. And the project that they put together, Tiktan Dhol, worldwide hit, mate.
Yeah, unbelievable.
And,
Yeah.
what a track, man! What a track! You know, big up the lads, man.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot more stuff coming from them guys as well, man. So don't think they're being quiet and they're not being around. Because got some heavyweights.
Moneyspinners and Kanwar Grewal ji just there's some of my favorite artists, you know, in the UK.
Yeah, and it was a nice collab, man.
Yeah,
it was a nice collab.
Yeah.
And my brother Swan from Moneyspinner, he's the only person that can make these kind of things happen.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? Even for myself, that guy, he can move. That guy can move buildings if you want to.
Wow.
You know what I mean? He's that kind of banda, man. And Yatta, like you said, my brother, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Yeah, so the whole team, they did really well with that project. I was lucky enough to work with him.
Yeah.
You know, Junior Dread, my bro there as well. You know, we was lucky enough to be in the studio with them guys as well when we was putting together his albums and stuff as well. You know, got the chance to, because of him, got the chance to work with Sajid Bindrakia vocals, which weren't just like nowadays, just taken off. It was an actual original vocal that we got to work with as well. We also managed to get Billa Bakshibaji and Ashok Gill on the track as well. That was another good album altogether that we did.
Yeah.
I was actually featured on that album as a rapper as well. So I did a track with Junior Dread alongside Javed Bashir, Baji, who's massive in Gwali. And you know, Baji in Bollywood. You know, he's done a lot of things. Such a nice person as well. Yeah, man, really humble guy, man. Really humble guy. Really nice person as well. And his whole management team, man, lovely. And they gave us their blessing with the track as well. That track actually went to the #1 in BBC Asia Network. Wow. Yeah, it went to #1. Remember, hit the #1 spot. But at the same time, like, you know, going back to the Straight Outta Khalistan album, you know, at the time, you know, those hit like #1s as well, but they weren't, because of what they weren't pushed. We know what it is as well anyway, but they weren't pushed. You know, that the Straight Outta Khalistan Volume 1, I think, that was #1 in the world iTunes charts.
Really? Wow.
At the same time, Raj, it had 8 of its songs in the top 10 as well. You know what I mean? But it still didn't get no airplay anyway. Which we were prepared for that anyway. We was ready for that. But that was not the reason why we did it. You know, we did it Dilo. And I had to remember our Shaheed and stuff like that. And, you know, I can't begin to express how I feel about that. You know, a lot changed for me when I started learning a lot more about our Shaheed. I knew about them anyway. But when I sit down with people like Sukhas Paji, Morawali, Tarsem Singh Morawali, Jago Wale Uncle Huni ji, you know, a lot of Tadi, Jathe, and I sit down and I love going Gurdwara and listening to stories and listen to our Vara and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Again, I think I got the passion and the love because of my dad.
Hmm.
And I like to carry that forward. I like to carry that forward. So anything I do in that sector, I know that, you know what, my dad would be proud of that. My
Hmm.
dad would be proud of what I'm doing. I'm not doing it for any wrong cause or to cause any hatred or violence or anything like that.
Hmm.
It's stories. That's why I love doing, it's like if you see an album now, album becomes a compilation album, huh?
Hmm.
Whereas an album like that, you can tell it's done by one person. It's a story. I'm not creating songs. It's a story. That's why you listen to them songs. Some of them songs are like 6.5 minutes long
Wow.
because I don't want to filter it out. I don't want to water it down. Sometimes you have to because something becomes too long. Take antra here, this, you know. But I don't want to filter these things down as well. We want to create a mood, you know.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Not everything's got to be about, people lost their lives, man. A lot of people lost their lives. So if we can carry on through for the next generation musically in the right way, we're gonna do that. I
Hmm.
will, that's where my heart is. That's where my heart is.
That's
Because
amazing.
it got to a certain point where I thought, like, you know what, I'd rather do a Mick song than something out there Pungra. I have to do the Pungra stuff to pay the rent, to
Yeah.
pay bills. You know what I mean? As well. But you tend not to see my name against it. You know what I mean? But
That
whereas
was
the
my next
Mick stuff,
question.
yeah, I wholeheartedly do. Dilo mein karta hai, yeah, yeah. And as long as my home family say, my mum says that hard tika, I'll go with that. You know
That's
what I mean?
amazing.
There's a few people that ask me, if I'm going to release something, shall I release it? Shall I release it? If they say yes, if it passes through them, I know it's good. You know what I mean? I just need that pat on the back because
Hmm.
I don't do it for any sales or anything. It doesn't mean nothing to me.
Hmm.
It's like the studio. I don't want anything off anybody. Just the time that you're here. Same as I do. So if I go to another studio, I pay the studio engineer for his time, and
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
same thing here. I don't want no mention on people's tracks or people's, because people are doing their tracks for their reason, and for
Hmm.
themselves, and it's not always has to have my name attached
So
to it.
Shani, back to just want to before we finish off to back to you as an artist, which is
Yeah.
phenomenal what you're doing, and it's great that you're so passionate about the religious music you're doing as well, and then everything else you're
Hmm.
doing. What about you as a because the last thing I seen was with Punjabi number one because that was a massive hit with DCS.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. That was an honor to do, man. Big up my big brother, man. Shin.
Yeah,
Yo, salute, man. Salute that
respect.
guy, man, forever. You know what I mean? Respect. I'm a big fan. I'm a massive DCS fan before anything,
Yep,
yo.
same
Yo,
here.
even when we was at college, yeah, look at this, Gubsy, my brother, yeah. I remember Gubsy saying to me, Sean, I'm gonna start playing for DCS, man. That's my dream group, Sean. And I go to him, I go, bro, you got it, man. Smash it. And look where he is now.
Yeah.
Man's touring the world, you know what I mean? But yeah, with Shin, going back to Shin, you know what? Big up my brother Satpal Kalsi as well. And Satpal must have, obviously, he's a close family friend of Shin as well. So when gal kitti huni hai na, um, mentioned me a couple of times and stuff as well. So to a point where Shin rang me, and yo, I remember running up to Shinman from a little kid, mate, with paper plates that I've taken off someone's table. You know what I mean? And with a pen and getting autographs off him.
Yeah.
And I remember them times, man. And when he rang me, I was actually at a show in Wolverhampton. I remember. I thought it was my brother Piana. I thought it was him messing around. So actually, I was like, I won't say what I said, but I told him to like hurry up, and he's like, then he said, "No, Shani, this is Shin from DCS." And I was like, "Hold on, this is really Shin." From
Wow.
there, quick conversation. We linked up, we met up, passed over a few ideas and stuff, and yeah, man. And I was it was an honor. It was an honor to the point where Shin showed me the song, Punjabi number one, which is a catchy song. We made it for a reason. There was a reason behind that as well. But we went with that. I went with that. I liked the idea. Anything for me at that time,
You're
Shin would
working
give
with
me
Shin.
anything.
Yeah.
Exactly, mate. I'm not gonna say no to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hannah? And it being Punjabi number one, that's what I'm about as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I got to a certain point where we're kind of like going through the lyrically wise as well, Hannah. We've kind of like selected a beat, kind of like guide beat, which I was gonna finish up and make beef it up and stuff. To a point where Shin said to me that Sean, we're gonna get a rapper on this, and I'm excited because I'm like, yo, Shin, I'm already thinking, who's it gonna be? Who's he gonna get? Like, because I know Shin, he ain't messing around. He's gonna get some big
Yeah.
rapper on there. You know what I mean? I'm hoping it's like, Cheshire Cat, even to the point where I'm thinking, yo, this guy can, if he want, he can put the word out. He'll get Honey sing on his track.
Yeah.
Even Honey will sing, won't say no to him. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking one of them ones, and then to a point where he's like, no, you're gonna do it. I'm like, what? And I'm not even a rapper, you know what I mean? I just by chance, again, through my brother's Moneyspinner, there was an opportunity where, I did a track with Jelly Manjeet Puri Paji as well, innit? Big up Jelly Manjeet Puri. Did a track with them guys, did another track with an artist that's passed away now, Maninder Munga. So that was the first time I ever did a rap part on a track.
Wow.
In the video, they ended up using some guy from Canada, some bald head guy to do my parts in the video, which then I wasn't too happy about. But chalo, it is what it is.
Which
At least
video?
it was the first time I heard my voice out on TV and stuff like that, Hannah.
Was it a different
You know
video in
what I mean?
Canada?
No, there was this was for a track called Asla with a guy called Maninder
Okay,
Munga.
so we're not talking about
So I
Punjabi
think
number one.
I think Shin might have heard that. So he's asked me to do a rap on
Gotcha.
Punjabi number one. So that's where my rap came out.
Wow.
And it was a big chance to work with Shin. Got to work with the Ballistic guys as well in the video, big up them as well. And you know what I mean? The package comes for me. I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it myself. You know what I mean? And to be able to perform that live with Shin on stage as well, it's next level. You know what I mean? But that guy shows a lot of love, man. It was a big move for me. It was a big move for me, and a lot of people loved that track. I got so much love I got loads of messages from like Canada, India, and stuff. They ended up using that track on a few TV shows and stuff in India. I remember. Yeah, man. So, people around me, the people around me were, they were like, Sean, they were happy for me. You know what I mean? They were happy for me. Like I said, I didn't do it for no gains or anything like that. I'm not going to gain nothing. Well, you don't know what people are looking at you, how people look at you from the outside, innit?
Yeah.
But for me, I got shown a lot of love, Hannah. They I even did a few. I did a track called Sing on the Shan, alongside Jay Johal, Billa Bakshi Paji as well for Taram Seva Records.
Yeah.
Utte vi main Punjabi ch rap kita siga. And that was a Dharmic track as well. So yeah, it was received really nice.
Did you pen it yourself? Really nice, did you pen the lyrics yourself for the rap?
Some of them, again, my brother Sukha Singh Mora wali hana. Rap wise, I would never do anything without passing it through Paji as well, hana. Just because of even little things like pronunciation. Well, I say little, that is the pronunciation, cadence, as in like your timing, how you're gonna come onto the track, your feel of the track, how you're coming across. All these things matter, Hannah. And everyone's different. You know what I mean? Everyone's different. I got my different style. Somebody else might have their different style. But I will only do a rap on something that I'm with, if you get what I'm saying. Something that I would like. Not just to say that, Tiki, yeah, and I'll just do it with that. I know, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was a big honor to do that, man, and to sit with the DCS lads as well, mate. It was a big thing. I remember sitting in Shin's studio, looking around me, and I'm looking at gold plaques, mate.
Yeah.
And at the time, I remember there was like Brit Asia. They were doing like these like talent shows and stuff like that, Hannah. And people were sitting in front of panels, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm sitting in the man that's on TV, that I'm watching TV. I'm sitting in his house, in his studio, looking at these gold plaques and awards all around me. I'm already not being big-headed, but I was thinking, I just jumped a little bridge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I jumped a little bridge to the point where at the video shoot, I remember the DCS lads saying to me that, you was at Shin's studio and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, yo, we haven't even been in there.
Really?
And I was thinking, well, I don't know what to say, mate. I don't know what to say. I really don't know. But yeah, man, it was a big honor to have worked with that band, man.
Yeah,
And
unbelievable.
again, we will be we've been in talks for a little while, but we're gonna link up soon again. It's about that time, you know what I mean?
That's amazing. So, we'll
Mm.
going forward from there. Why haven't we heard more from you? I know you said it's when you're passionate, I know, but like for me as a fan of yourself and as a brother, I want more of Sharni out there. I know.
Yeah, yeah. You know, slowly, like I said, you know what, Raj, because the studio wise, I've been more helping people
Acha.
create their music.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of vocal recording, a hell of a lot of vocal recording for people. A lot of people recommend me for that for some reason. They just say tuning good day or something like Hannah.
Yeah.
They but yeah, man, like everybody says, soon come. It's just finding the right thing as well because everybody has their different choice of things. I've got things planned in my head, but again, it's time, budgets, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you need somebody there to take it to that next level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You need somebody there to take it to that next level as well. And you can't always do things by yourself, you know.
Hmm.
But luckily, I've got a good enough team around me. Je kuch karna hove, we'll make it happen. So, but soon, man. But I'd like to do stuff that's more meaningful to me now, as
Hmm.
in like, because of the age that we're at as well, and because of thinking of the youth ahead as well. I've got kids myself now as well, right?
Hmm.
You've got kids as well, and you know, not that we shouldn't have been thinking of this first, but it hits home a lot more now. I can't be seen on TV, in a club, dancing in
Yep.
a
Yep.
club, this, that, doing all them kind of things. Yeah, because I'm not sending a good, not only to my kids, when I see your kids, I don't want your kids to see me like that. I don't want no
Hmm.
one's kids to see me like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
ਆਪਾਂ ਜਾਇਦਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਸ਼ਾਦੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਢੋਲ ਵੀ ਵਜਾਈਦਾ as well, ਹਨਾ?
Hmm.
We keep ourselves to ourselves. Yeah, we don't do no silly stuff when we get there. We
Yep.
get there, we're there to do a job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, respect to all the musicians out there, man, that do that on a daily. You know what I mean? It's not easy. People look at you, and my hands and my arms are bust up after one gig. Some of the musicians are dealing with this like day in day out. You know what I mean? ਮੈਨੂੰ ਫੇਰ ਵੀ rest ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਮਾੜੀ ਜਿਹੀ.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, just got to try your best on it. But
Absolutely.
but again, learn what you're doing, man. Learn what you're doing. Learn a bit of background. You know, and you'll be good. You'll be good. Take guidance of people, innit?
So I always ask all the musicians who come on here a question: what, in your words, is musical excellence? And I think you've answered some of that anyway. So, but musical excellence. So, because this podcast is my pursuit of musical excellence, and so it's an opportunity for me to learn for the musicians. And you've just given me a masterclass today. So, but if you can sum it up for
No,
me.
respect, man. Sorry, mate. No, musical excellence to me means, you know what? There's a lot of things combined with music. First of all, practice makes perfect.
Hmm.
Whatever yourself, you're a vocalist. Your instrument is your gula. It's with you all
Mm.
the time, so there's no excuse.
Yep.
Yeah, practice makes perfect with everything, with musically, but not only musically. Learn. You have to learn what you're learning, as in, you know, if it's something technical, if it's something how something's supposed to be played, play it like that. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Apni besti na karo, hai na? And at the same time, just learn of people, be a good person, be an all rounder. Musical excellence is a long thing, man. You have to just learn good things from elder people that you can take with you and carry on forward. And you pave your
Absolutely.
own way. You pave
Absolutely.
your own way, huh? There's no right or wrong in music, huh?
Mm.
But there is good and bad people. You know what I mean? That matters more nowadays is to be a good person, huh? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Music that hair, but people's mental health is a big thing as well, isn't it?
Mm. I actually love
So
that.
to be a good person, yeah, to be a good person is above music as well. You could say, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Music connects people around the world. A music instrument can make somebody smile, innit? You
Mm.
don't have to speak the same language. You know
No.
what I mean? So if you can do something like that, yeah, put a smile on somebody's face. That is musical excellence.
Yeah. क्या बात है?
You
क्या
know?
बात
Even if somebody gives you a little tap on your
है?
back, put a little smile on
Yeah.
someone's face that doesn't even speak your language.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And give that
What,
love and respect.
I mean, what I've loved about the podcast is that it's something you said right at the start when you were talking about Gujan Uncle Ji. Just there's a word in Urdu, tehzeeb,
Mm,
which means basically manners and decency, and that stuck out. And even
yes.
now, when you sum that up, that's so important, and it's something
Yeah,
we're
man.
losing as a culture, aren't we?
Mm,
As Punjabis,
mm,
we don't have that as much as we used to.
yeah, yeah.
You
Because everyone's at different musical levels,
Yeah.
Raj, as well, Hannah. I remember, after my lessons sometimes, my dad used to say to me, "Baja mein le, ki se kya hai," Hannah?
Yeah.
So I used to play. I used to play in front of my dad, and it still now I say it now, and it's the truth. My dad used to stop me while I'm playing, and you say, hold on, hold on, hold on." He say, "I would rather listen to you play one clean beat, Jal, or something, a one clean beat, than you play 10 wrong beats
Hmm.
or 10 beats out of timing or something like that." You know what I mean? I'd rather listen to one clean beat. That shows a level in it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Everyone's at different musical levels. So, but you can only be the best if you practice in it and
Absolutely, bro.
look up to people that practice. Yeah, I've only done that much in music. What I look at other people that have done. I haven't
Hmm.
done nothing yet. I haven't done nothing yet. You know what I mean? And you just sometimes, like I said, you need people there around you to take things forward. And it
Yeah.
depends how you think of it in there.
Yeah.
I'm not doing music to go out and impress people. I'm not
No.
doing it for that. I'm doing it for myself. You know what I mean? Hence why, like I said, I'm sitting here now. Look at my view. Look at my view.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here. My own mental health is important. People don't speak enough about it. I got sick and tired of like sitting in like rooms that are all soundproof. There's no windows and no
Hmm.
nothing, and sit there for like a long time. You know what I mean? And just naturally, just like people's mental health matters, man. Music's a
Absolutely.
big help. If it wasn't for music, I don't know what I would have done sometimes myself.
Hmm.
You know, I've lost, not only myself, people have lost family members. I lost my eldest brother, Hannah, and for me, music was a path and
Hmm.
still is. I know how bigger of a fan my brother was of me. I'm his little brother. He was a big
Hmm.
fan of me. So anything I do musically and stuff like that, no. I always think, will my dad approve? Yes. Will my big brother approve? Yes, he would have loved it. I can't ask for no more. Then it's good
No.
to go. You know what I mean? Like I said, that's the reason why I do music now. And I don't do it for any fan following or stuff. Like you say on social media, yeah, you have to put things out. You have to
Hmm.
put things out, Hannah, just to keep in the eye. But realistically, I ain't doing it for that. I'm not
No.
doing it for that. Karida hunda, Hannah. But जिन्ना कर सकते हैं उन्ना ही करीदा है. As
Absolutely.
much technical on that side as we can get, Hannah.
And speaking of social
Yeah.
media, where can people catch you on social media, and how
Yeah.
if they want to
Yeah.
contact you?
So yeah. I'm on Facebook as my normal name, Sharni Verdi. And other Instagram is Time Productions Music. On Facebook as well, there's Time Productions Music again. On Twitter, there's Time Production Music on Twitter. TikTok as well. You can follow me on TikTok as well. And yeah, man, just all round, you can just hit us up if you anybody want to get in contact and stuff as well. I've never said this because I've just never had a chance to say it, but
Yeah.
yeah, you can hit me up anyway. People get my number, but you know what it is, I've never advertised or anything like that. So, Baba Ji Kirpa Nal, stuff's always gone well, man. I can't ask. And seeing as I've never ever advertised,
Yeah.
and people still come, people are down there, Hannah. I've got somebody in tomorrow. I've never met the person random. They come in to like record 4 songs with me because of somebody else's say so. So things like that keep coming and stuff. So it's a blessing, man. Can't ask for more, innit? You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? But Time Productions, music everywhere. If anybody wants to get in contact, yeah, you can contact us through that, man.
Yeah, and I can vouch for you, Sharni. Honestly, guys, Sharni knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. I've worked in the studio with him as
Well, thank
well,
you,
and
man.
100%. So make sure you get in contact with him, guys.
100%, man.
And that
100%,
that
man.
is
We'll have
Sharni, and
to.
that's Sharni. Bless you, bro. Thank you so much
Yeah, man.
for
Thank you so much, man.
yeah.
No worries, man. I'm sorry if I went on. I just got
No,
so
no,
much
no,
to
no.
say. There's a lot more, but we leave it till next time.
Yeah, you've done my job for me. You stay online. I'm just
Nah,
going to close the podcast. So, guys, that was Sharni from Time Productions. If you make sure that you give him a follow, leave a review. I think this is the first podcast Sharni's done. Is that right, Sharni?
first ever interview is our
Yeah,
first
first ever
podcast.
interview, first podcast.
I was asked before, and I have to say, I got asked a lot. Somebody that else isn't here with us today. Our big brother Avtar Singh Khanda, rest in peace. And Paji ने बहुत बारी मैनू किया है ना भाई करना आपा तेरा interview कर दे, but never got the chance to sit with Paji. But Raj, thank you so much, man.
No,
My
honestly,
brother,
thank
man.
you.
I'm sorry I left it so long with you.
No, it's been all right. I know you're a busy guy, bro. Honestly, so yeah. So that is Sharni, guys. Make sure you follow, leave a review, and God bless you all until we meet next time. Yeah, stay blessed.